Hello, my name is Rachel and I am here with my TBR for the Biannual Summer Bibliothon. So there are 7 challenges that we're going to try to cover between July 14th to July 20th, I believe, are the dates of the readathon. So the first challenge is always the group book, which this time is The Wicked Deep by Shea Earnshaw. I wasn't too familiar with this book, but from what I've heard from the girls that run the readathon, this sounds really interesting. I think it's these like ghosts of former girls that inhabit other people's bodies and lure boys to the lake to possibly drown. Very odd, but I'm intrigued, so I'm looking forward to reading The Wicked Deep. The next challenge is to read a book on someone else's TBR, and for this, I kind of had a book, well, at least a couple of books in mind that I did want to read, so I felt like I was more or less looking for somebody's TBR that had them. But what I did is I watched a couple of TBR videos from the summer Biannual Bibliothon, and Little Book Owl read Renegades. So I'm looking to read Renegades by Marissa Meyer for my Read a Book from Somebody Else's TBR challenge. I do need to get this one read because this could possibly come up in a school activity that I'm doing this coming school year with my students, so I want to get this one read. Next up is to read a book that you've had on your shelf for over a year, and I'm going to go with My Lady Jane by Cynthia Hand, Brody Ashton, and Jody Meadows. I'm picking this one for the same reason. It has been on my shelf for over a year, but it might also come into play this school year, so I wanted to give it a read. I've heard great things about this, but I've just never been in the mood to read it, so I decided what better time than the present. So I'm going to pick this up and read it hopefully this week. Next up is a book that you predict will be a 5-star read, and for that I'm going to go with Children of Blood and Bone by Tomi Adeyemi. Not only do I anticipate this being a 5-star read, but everyone is buzzing about this, and it is currently the pick for the Tonight Show read with Jimmy Fallon. So I'm just excited to pick this up and read and see what everybody's so excited about. I think I'm going to rate this one 5 stars, as you can guess, since this was my pick for this one, but I'm just excited. I think I'm going to love it. I also have the audiobook for this, which I'm going to enjoy the full experience of listening and reading at the same time. Next up is to pick an Own Voices book, and I believe this is basically Own Voices. I don't think the time frame is right, but the setting is right. So I'm gonna go with Americana by Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie. I believe she is from Nigeria, which is where this book is set. So I'm gonna use this for my Own Voices. Like I said, I don't think the timing is right. Maybe it is. I'm not 100% sure. To be honest, I really don't know what this book is about at all. I just know that I've read a couple of this author's smaller books and have loved them, so I'm excited to dive in to a bigger full-length novel. Looking at the back, it says from Nigeria, so that would cover the Own Voices, but it does say post 9/11, so maybe this isn't what I thought it was. So we'll see. Interesting. Next up is to read the last book you bought, which for me is Dead Girls by Alice Bolin. I saw this blurb somewhere and it sounded very interesting. It is a collection of essays on an American obsession. I'm just looking really forward to this one. I can't say I know too much about it, but I do feel like it hits on the current obsession with dead girls, like in the podcast Serial and all these true crime fixations that are around. And I am a true crime junkie, so I'm very interested to see what this has to relate to those. And then lastly, it's a try a chapter tag. So I picked 3 books off of my shelf of books that I need to review, and the possibilities are Disney's Daring Dreamers Club, Mila Takes Charge by Aaron Soderbergh. That's choice 1. Choice 2 is Writing Radar by Jack Gantos. And then the last choice is The Right to Protest by Duchess Harris, PhD. Nice. I like the name Duchess. Duchess Harris. That's fun. But these are my choices, so I'm going to go ahead and read a chapter of all of these and then pick one for my TBR. So I'm going to start with The Right to Protest by Duchess Harris. Alright, so I just finished the first chapter of The Right to Protest. It was pretty interesting. They're mentioning the case in Kent State, not too far from me actually, where students were shot for protesting after they were throwing rocks at the police. So they're, I like the way that it presents it as something to be concerned about, that the police would shoot innocent people, like students at a campus who aren't armed, but also other ways something like this could be prevented, and discussion questions on what to discuss further in these extreme cases. I think this would be an interesting book for students to read, and I'm actually excited to continue on with this one, so this is a contender. Next up is Writing Radar by Jack Gantos, using your journal to snoop out and craft great stories. So I'm going to go ahead and read the first chapter. So I just finished the first chapter of Writing Radar, and it is adorable. I laughed several times already, so I feel like this could be a really fun choice. And it went really fast, so I think this one might be the one, but I have one more to read. So the next option is Daring Dreamers Club, Mila Takes Charge. So let's jump into the first chapter. Alright, so I just read the first chapter of Mila Takes Charge. This is really cute already. I like it, and I think this will be a fun one to read, but I think for this readathon, I'm gonna go with Writing Radar. I think this would be perfect right now anyway, because Camp NaNoWriMo is happening, and I'm very horribly participating. Like, it's if you can call it that, I'm sort of participating, just not doing so well. But maybe this will inspire me to work a little harder on my story. So I'm gonna pick this one as my 7th and final book for the readathon. So here is my giant stack. There is no way I'm gonna get all 7 of these books done this week, but you know what? I'm gonna give it a try and see what I can get read. I am planning on hopefully vlogging all of next week, so definitely stay tuned at the end of the readathon for a vlog update. It'll probably have my wrap up in the vlog, so stay tuned for that as well. So I will see you soon. Bye for now.